Hi everyone. Hope you are doing good. Hey, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I worked with a company that had been using the same outdated software for 15 years. Then, out of nowhere, leadership decided to replace it with something new and more efficient. And just like that, chaos. Employees were frustrated, confused. Some were downright angry. Why change something that's not broken? Do I have to relearn everything? What if I can't keep up? And you know what happened next? They pushed back, some slowed their work in protests, productivity dropped, morale sank, a few even quit. And I remember thinking the problem wasn't the change itself, the problem was how it was handled. Because here's the thing, change, whether we like it or not, is inevitable. New technology, new structures, new ways of working, it's part of life. It's part of business. But let's be honest, most of us hate it. Imagine this, you've been driving the same route to work for years. You know every turn, every light, even where to grab the best coffee. Then one morning, construction blocks your path. Suddenly, you are forced to take a different route. New roads, new traffic patterns, new stress. Annoying, right? That's exactly how people feel at work when change is forced on them. It disrupts their routine, it makes them uncomfortable, it makes them question their ability to adapt, and yet resisting change, that's even riskier. Think about Blockbuster. They had the chance to innovate to become Netflix before Netflix, but they didn't. They clung to what was familiar. And now they're just a memory. So the real question isn't if change will happen. The question is, how do we make it easier? I once worked with a leader who had a brilliant vision for his company, total digital transformation. The problem? He didn't explain it, he didn't bring his people along. One day, he just walked into a meeting and said, "We are changing everything, starting now." What do you think happened? Panic. People assume the worst. Are they replacing us with automation? Am I losing my job? The truth. The change wasn't about layoffs, but when people don't have answers, they make up their own. And usually, they assume the worst. See, people don't resist change just to be difficult. They resist because they feel uncertain, out of control, or undervalued. But the best leaders, the ones who truly drive transformation, they get this. They don't just announce change, they guide people through it. Look at Microsoft. When Satya Nadella took over as CEO, Microsoft was struggling, stuck in old ways, losing relevance. But instead of forcing change, he inspired it. He showed people a clear vision. He removed roadblocks. He helped employees see that this wasn't just about the company, it was about them, their growth, their future. That's what great leadership in change looks like. Because change isn't just about flipping a switch. People go through stages first: denial, this isn't happening, then frustration. Why are they doing this to us? Some even bargain. Maybe we can tweak it instead of changing everything. Then exhaustion. This is too much. But if a leader manages it well, people eventually accept the change. And not just that, they embrace it. I saw this firsthand with a retail company shifting from in store sales to an online first model. Employees were terrified. We don't know e commerce. How can we compete with Amazon? But leadership did something different. Instead of forcing it, they involved people in the process. They trained them, let them test out the system before launching it. And when employees adapted well, they celebrated them, turning them into role models for the rest of the team. 1 year later, not only had they successfully made the transition, but morale was actually higher than before. Employees felt empowered, not threatened, and that's the key. Change fails when people feel like it's happening to them, but when they feel like they're a part of it, that's when real transformation happens. So, what do you do when people push back? Here's a secret: resistance isn't bad, it means people care, it means they're invested. Your job isn't to fight resistance, it's to channel it into action. And how do you do that? Talk to people, make the change make sense. Listen to their fears instead of brushing them aside. Involve them early. Give them proof that this is actually going to work. And celebrate progress, even the small wins. And most importantly, be patient. Not everyone adapts at the same pace. Look, change will never be easy, but it can be easier if we stop treating it like a corporate policy update and start treating it like what it really is, a human experience. So, whether you're leading a big transition or just trying to survive one, remember this: change isn't the enemy, resistance isn't the problem, poor communication is. Get that right, and change won't feel like something happening to you, it'll feel like something you're a part of. Take care and bye for now.